Here's something I haven't talked about in a while, and of course it's deck maintenance. And before I get started, I'd like to point out that these deck joists actually cantilever back into the building and are probably part of the floor on the interior of the building. And if they needed to be replaced, this could be costly. This could end up being one heck of a home repair bill. So if you have a deck like this, probably right now would be a good time to pay attention and focus on some of the information I'm going to share with you. First on the list will be the dirt here that needs to be cleaned every once in a while, and maybe not just cleaned, maybe even painted. And you can see here that we've got dirt stains. Where are these dirt stains coming from? Well, they're actually coming from the gaps in between the decking. So I'm just going to guess that this is probably a 2x6 decking up here, and spaced between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch apart. And it's not real clean. It's a little dirty, and a little bit of moisture accumulates on the deck regularly, causing some of the dirt to seep between the gaps. And of course, this dirt, you're not just looking at dirt stains here. Some of this, or from the moisture I should say, some of the moisture and the dirt will actually work its way in underneath the decking and on top of the floor joists. So this could be an area where you're going to accumulate large amounts of moisture, especially if there is a steady supply every single day. This deck, let's just say, is getting wet. It's sucking up the condensation from the or moisture from the air. Every morning it's the same old thing. The deck's wet. This moisture seeps between the cracks on underneath the decking, on top of the joists, only adding to your problems in the future. Next up on the list is this crack, and you can see there's a nice crack here. And again, cracks are just kind of the normal state of wood. It's going to shrink and contract, and cracks are going to get larger, and of course they will open and close every once in a while, but they rarely seem to close, don't they? They always seem to get larger. And part of this problem here is the moisture. You can imagine a nice steady supply of moisture rolling off of the deck in between the gaps down the side of the joists, and wait, there's a nice gap, a nice crack in the way for the moisture to roll into. Well, what is that going to do eventually? Well, after it absorbs enough moisture, you're going to end up with some type of a fungus, and the wood actually rotting if this isn't taken care of. So again, the original culprit is the moisture. The moisture is probably in the air. And again, the moisture could also be from people cleaning off the upper patio. I've seen this before. Someone's got a garden hose up there. They clean this thing off 3 times a week. They don't really look underneath, see what's going on. They're worried about what's on top, and then all of a sudden they're replacing the entire deck. So again, this is kind of obvious. You see the dirt stains, that's going to be your first clue that just maybe you better start paying attention. You've got a moisture problem. And then you're going to start to see some cracks every once in a while. Well, this might tell you that you're going to need to put some caulking in here, maybe caulk the cracks, and then maybe apply a little paint. That'd be a good thing. So once you see the fungus, you've reached the point of it's time for extreme maintenance, the old extreme makeover thing. Yeah, that might be it. Scrape the fungus out, make sure that the joist isn't rotted and is still in pretty good condition. If not, it's going to need to be replaced. But most of all, clean this deck up and get some paint on it. And try and see if you can figure out a way to eliminate or reduce the amount of moisture. And if you can't do that, then now would probably be a good time of thinking seriously about installing another deck, some type of a deck that would waterproof and seal the entire area. You would no longer use the 2x6 with the gaps. You would have some type of a solid deck that would be completely waterproof to where the moisture wouldn't affect the framing at all, if, of course, if it was installed properly. So to recap everything, you see lines, you got dirt, you got a moisture problem, eventually you got cracks, funguses, fungus growing, mold, mildew, you name it, you've got a problem. And this problem had better be addressed sooner than later, or you're going to be forking out large amounts of money to repair something like this.